dog in the street.
Let's go, people. Welcome into Twin City Sports Talk. The Twins have finally finalized their bullpen for this upcoming season, and I gotta say, it's pretty exciting. So they've made many different additions this offseason, and this is kind of the topping on the cake here. The last piece to this bullpen. We'll get to all of it throughout this episode right here. But we're going to start off with our sponsor, Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise, a family-owned operated business proudly serving the Twin Cities and surrounding areas. They specialize in the custom closets, kitchens, pantries, and garages, and more throughout each space, thoughtfully designing them to help homeowners truly maximize how they live every day with a focus on smart layouts, quality craftsmanship, and personalized solutions. They offer free in-home consultations, people. That's big. Making it easy to get started for this year's home show season. Their special is $500 off your install when you book a consultation at any of the shows they're attending. You can see them at the Elk River Home Show on February 14th. So that's this weekend. And then the Home and Garden Show, that's the big one at the Minneapolis Convention Center, February 25th through March 1st. So you kind of got like a week to get down there and get that deal. While it's there, stop by their booth, get ideas, ask questions. There's their phone number if you want to reach them online. Thank you to Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise for sponsoring. Before we get to these Twins additions here, we're going to get to the predictions that Trevor and I made last night. And I got to say, Trevor had a solid night right there. Either way, 2 games we predicted. One was last night. One was obviously just a couple hours ago in the USA hockey game. The results, Wolves won 133-109 against the Trailblazers, the last game before the All-Star break here. So exciting, get a little 8-day break. And then the USA won today against Latvia 5-1. So good start for the U.S. hockey team in the Olympics. It's going to be fun to watch. They got, I think, Denmark next in 2 days. So either way, our predictions, Trevor and I both said the Wolves would take the win. So there we go right there. My player prediction, so I have to tell a little bit of story for a little bit of context here. I had a free $10 on Underdog, and I went with this 3-leg lineup. I had Klingon, the center for the Blazers, to have 9.5 points. I had Rudy over 19.5 rebounds, assists, and points, which that hit. Klingon did not. That was crazy. He only had 8 points. And then I also said Io would have over 1.53, so he only needed 2. He ended with 0. So bad parlay from Bruce, only hitting 2 for 3 right there. But I did say the U.S. hockey team would win. This one was kind of a free point for the record here for me and Trevor, I could say that, but I was maybe a bit too into it. I did say they'd win 8-1. They only won 5-1, but I get the prediction right, and we'll go with Trevor there too. He also said the U.S. would win. He said 5-0. He was very close to that score prediction right there, but correct from Trevor. I said Wild players would combine for 2+ points. Hughes had 1. Boldy didn't have anything. Faber, I think, had the least amount of ice time on the team, out of the defensemen, which not surprising. It's a very deep team, but he's also good himself. He'll get his time, but he did not have any points either. So Hughes had 1, but it stinks because Hughes had a goal taken away. So very, very rough wrong answer there for me, but it is wrong. So I didn't get any of my player predictions, but I went 2-0. So Trevor, on the other hand, so a little bit of context, people. We try to keep these predictions like a 50% chance of happening or lower because we don't want just freebies like Ant's going to hit 2 threes in the game or some crap like that. But Trevor did say Julius Randle would have 25 points. People might think, well, that's more likely to happen. Julius only had over 25 points, I think, once in his last 10 games. And, of course, last night when Trevor makes the prediction, he explodes for 41 points. Heck of an effort from Julius Randle last night. Didn't have the 3-ball either. He was scoring in many different ways. If people know me, I'm the resident Julius Randle hater. Maybe a bit too much sometimes, but hey, last night was great. It was the most fun I've had watching him play. So there you go. Trevor said the U.S. would have 2+ power play goals. They had 2. I think Nelson scored 1 and Matthews, if I'm remembering correctly. So Trevor, all green for Trevor tonight, and this pushes him above 500. He's now 26-25 with 13 points, going 2-0 with 2 points. Good job, Trev. He's been looking for that night for a while now. So good job to the guy. But all right, this is about the Twins. This is a Twins episode. We're going to get to a bunch of different things here. First, before I get to our additions, I want to note something by Dan Hayes of The Athletic. He's a big name in the baseball world and the Twins specifically, but he's reporting on Joe Ryan because obviously the fire sale last year, a lot of speculation. Joe Ryan, actually, I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, the Twins had a deal in place for the Red Sox to get Joe Ryan at the deadline, and obviously his name's been in the trade discussions a ton this offseason. So, and he did look lost. He didn't look like he really wanted to be pitching in the latter half of the year last year, kind of after that fire sale. But either way, Joe Ryan is glad the Twins didn't further sell off the team and is happy to be back after an offseason of uncertainties. Like I said, he also said he's ready to turn the page from last season, in which he lost motivation after the trade deadline, which I could see. I mean, you're literally saying, well, we're not going to make the playoffs. We're going to sell every good player we have, basically. Someone with trade value, you know. The Twins will lean heavily on their starting rotation, and Ryan is confident in the group the Twins have. I am too. Very good group the Twins have at the starting rotation spot. He also said he has no hard feelings about the arbitration difference, saying that the Twins are trying to win and that's their show. Ryan then said that he thinks the arbitration process is stupid and that no team or player likes it and that it doesn't benefit anyone. I completely agree. I mean, just look at Tarek Skubal. He won his for like $33 million. Tarek Skubal is going to get like $70 million next offseason, unless there's a cap space rule in effect come next year. Tarek Skubal is going to get paid heavily, and he's the best pitcher in baseball, but the Tigers offered him like $19 million in their arbitration process, but Skubal won with the 33. Either way, sounds like Joe Ryan is in the right headspace heading into this year, and that is phenomenal because, I mean, he is a candidate to be the opening day starter. I have a feeling they'll just stick with Pablo Lopez again, but Joe Ryan is definitely a guy you have to watch out for that opening day, which is coming around the corner. We're getting close, people. Pitchers and catchers did report today. That's kind of everything for the Twins kind of happened today. Pitchers and catchers report. Everyone's in the swing of things now. Either way, let's get to these signings that they made and a trade. I shouldn't say all signings, but the first signing I'm going to talk about is old friend Liam Hendriks. Okay. This guy is 37 years old and he has battled the health issues and the cancer. I think he had the cancer when he was on the White Sox like 3 years ago, I think. But I remember when he made his return, very emotional game, very fun to watch, actually. But so he's been dealing with that the past couple of years. But in 2025, last year with Boston, he only made 14 appearances and had a 6.59 ERA. Since the 2023 season concluded, he's made only 19 appearances. He'll get another fresh start with the Twins as they look to kind of improve the bullpen and prove that he has some time still as an MLB pitcher, which this is just a phenomenal signing. I really, really, really love this signing. It adds depth. It kind of pushes a few guys you didn't really want in the bullpen. It kind of pushes some off because if we go back here, they also kind of at the same time as Liam Hendriks, they also signed veteran Julian Merryweather, which if you go to Merryweather, it's not as reliable of a guy, but he's been in the major leagues for 6 years now, since 2020. His best year was 2023 with the Cubs with a 3.38 ERA. And the one thing I will say, that is the only year he pitched over 27 innings. Every other year, 2020, 13 innings, 2021, 13 innings. 22, he pitched 26.2 innings. Then 2024, 15 innings. 2025, 18 innings. But the year with his, and then all of those years were like ERAs above 5 or 6, like in the 5 or 6s there. So really bad. But the one year he had 72 innings pitched with the Cubs in 2023, he had a 3.38 ERA. So I mean, just looking at this, I don't know a lot about him, but it seems like you got to give him a little runway, is what I'm gathering here. Let him get started for the year, and he'll get warmed up as further as you go. Because I mean, look at these years. The last 2 years, the batting average against was 300. In 2023, it was 219. So, I mean, you're not both of these, the Hendricks and Merriweather, are both minor league contracts. They're not really affecting you in the money department at all. This could be a low risk, high reward type situation with Merriweather because it is a veteran. And then, I mean, obviously Hendricks, he's been around for a while. He has been in playoff scenarios with the White Sox, with a bunch of teams. He knows how it goes. He's a veteran. And I mean, if he is having a good year and if you are really out of the playoff race or out of the division race, you could end up selling again at the deadline, a few guys. So get a prospect for Hendricks or maybe this next guy I'm going to talk about. But I think the big one that everyone's talking about, that it deserves to be talked about, Anthony Banda. Okay. This is the bullpen booster the Twins have needed. This is the guy that we've been talking about on the show, not him specifically, but this is the type of caliber of player. So he's 32 years old. He's bounced around, but he found a spot on the LA Dodgers, which it really stinks for him because if you really think about where Banda's head is at right now, so the Dodgers, they DFA'd him to make room. I think it was for Ben Rortvedt, which is also an old friend. So they added Ben Rortvedt to the roster, DFA's Anthony Banda, and then you can still trade when you DFA someone. So the Dodgers wanted to trade him, get something back for him instead of just letting a team sign him out of the blue or whatever. But the Twins basically gave up nothing. They got Anthony Banda in a trade for international bonus money, and I'm pretty sure just like future considerations, but no big players right now. And you're not going to need to give up anything in a DFA trade situation here. But to make room for him, Jackson Cower, who was in the bullpen already, kind of the Mariners, kind of journeyman, high draft pick Jackson Cower was, but he has never panned out. He's been DFA'd by the Twins to make room for Banda. So this is a heck of a move by the Twins. And now they have officially finalized the bullpen. So if we do go through this, the whole bullpen is actually full of reliable guys, in my opinion now, because now this is also really fun in a case because the Twins, for the first time in maybe like a couple decades, I know in the last 10 or 15 or 20 years, we haven't had this, but a bullpen of 3 lefties. Because here we go. You have Cody Funderburk coming off of honestly a very, very good end of the year. He had an ERA of like 1.1 or 1.4. I can't remember which one it was. After the trade deadline, no pressure on him. He just went out there and did what he does. And Funderburk had an amazing end of the year there. Really, really good. And then we go and sign Taylor Rogers this offseason, bring back lefty piece. So this is, I mean, I'm getting excited now because, I mean, baseball is back now. We get spring training games in like 10 days from now. I'm getting excited, but to continue along this, and then you add your third lefty in Anthony Banda, which I'm very excited about this. I mean, if people can't tell, I'm really excited because to have 3 lefties, you can really platoon these guys. And you can always rely on a lefty-lefty matchup. If in a late scenario in a game, I would trust really any of these guys to go up there against 3 lefties in a row in a lineup or something in a big game, or really anything. I would trust that. And then behind Banda, you have a good plethora of righties that you have now because you still have Cole Sands, okay? Justin Topa. And then you add Liam Hendricks to the mix, which he will be in there. And then Eric Orzi. You traded for Eric Orzi at the beginning of the offseason. So now you have a great mix of vets plus a Cole Sands. And I mean, Justin Topa's a vet too now, but like Funderburk's a little young. He's been in the league off and on, but now I think his spot is more solidified than really ever. But the Twins, their bullpen is set now. They don't have this, kicks out guys like Travis Adams, like Marco Raya from maybe even getting a start. We could maybe see 8 guys in the bullpen. Usually you would carry 7, but I could definitely see them carrying 8 guys if they feel like they want a long reliever in there, like a David Festa or a Zebby Matthews, because they're probably not going to make the starting rotation. I could see that. But for right now, the bullpen, there's not really a hole anywhere. I mean, you could talk about Eric Orzi. Hendricks hasn't been as great in the past few years, but he was also battling the health issues. But now he gets a fresh start. Justin Topa's going into the year fresh and healthy. Man, the Twins, they answered what we wanted, what we've been asking for. This is gonna get good. I really like this. I mean, this brings your bullpen up to, I'd say, a top 15 bullpen probably for, well, maybe not. I think it's still probably top 20 because there's not like that top guy. I mean, Bonda becomes your best reliever undoubtedly. The only thing with Bonda I will say is he doesn't really have the save time in his career. He's never been that closer, so that kind of brings up an issue where Taylor Rogers has before, but Bonda is your best reliever statistically and just by the eye test. But it does bring up a point of who is going to be your closer because Bonda doesn't have that experience at all. You have a few guys that have. Cole Sands kind of did it at the tail end of last year. A lot of questions to be had, but it's a good question because you have options now instead of going into the year being like, okay, well, Cole Sands kind of has to be. And I mean, hey, the Twins could, if they really want to, go sign Michael Kopech. I'm just saying. He would be your closer. That flamethrower, 102 mile per hour fastball, he would be your guy. So yeah, go sign Michael Kopech. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun. I'd love that. Either way, good stuff by the Twins today. Going and trading for Bonda. You signed Liam Hendricks. We knew they were going to get another righty in some aspect. I didn't think it would be Hendricks by any means. He actually wasn't even on our radar. I thought there was a chance Hendricks was going to retire, but I'm glad to have him. I love a good veteran who is trying to prove that he has some time left, especially on a team that could compete if things go right or might just not compete at all. We'll see. I think we're pretty high on this team going. I mean, not high as in like we're going to go win a playoff series or anything, but for what the trade deadline did to this fan base, to this organization, I'm high on the team in the aspect of we didn't have any expectations going into this year, but I'm high on the fact that you could maybe have some expectations. This division is very, very weak, the worst in baseball, and you could compete if things go right, if the guys stay healthy for most of the year. If you get Royce Lewis and Byron Buxton for 120 games each, okay. If Brooks Lee makes a step, if Matt Wallner has a batting average of 220, we could be looking at a division right here. I mean, we could compete. We definitely can. But either way, Anthony Bonda is a Twin. We recently made a Twins 26-man roster prediction. We might have to redo that pretty soon here. We were going to do it kind of halfway through spring training and then at the very end of spring training, but this might call for something a bit earlier than that, making these moves, which we knew were coming, but it's still good to see, and it's still positive thinking here. So either way, that's all I wanted to get past you guys today. The Twins, the bullpen is set. The bullpen is finalized. Twins fans, get ready for a fun year. I'm not saying it's going to be a great year. I'm going to say it's going to be a fun year. That's what I'm going to say. Hopefully. All right. Yep, there it is. Twin City Sports Talk. Make sure every one of you goes and follows the YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify. We're growing fast, growing good. So everyone, thanks for the support with that. I love all the subscribers coming in kind of all at once here. And everyone, if you're watching, don't forget, we are doing a ticket giveaway for opening day, and we will be announcing that in the next probably couple weeks, kind of right before spring training or as spring training kind of starts here. Gives people some buffer time. Either way, everyone go follow the socials. Twin City Sports Talk. It's great talking to you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. See ya.